My little brother is crazy, right? I mean, he's crazy.
If I may, he appears to have a delusion.
What the hell is he doing with a delusion? She loves kids. Fantastic. When will it be over?
When he doesn't need it anymore.
We gotta fix him. Can you fix him?
Bianca's in town for a reason. This isn't necessarily a bad thing.
How can we help?
Go along with it.
This must be Bianca. Well, welcome.
It can be a communication. It can be a way to work something out. Chances are he's been decompensating for some time.
We don't want anything to do with her.
What's the big deal?
She's a missionary. That's good, isn't it?
Hey, what are you doing on Friday? I was just thinking that maybe we could all go out.
Does she have a sister?
We shot a woman that couldn't talk.
I don't care.
Lars, we do care.
No, you don't.
That is just not true. Every person in this town bends over backwards to make Bianca feel at home. We do it for you.
So Lars and the Real Girl, like so many other movies on this list, runs on an engine of charm. And it does have a lot of charm in it, I do agree. And it's hard to say anything bad about a movie which I believe is so well-intentioned. I do think it means well, and it's portraying a world where mental illness is taken seriously by an entire community. An entire community embraces a man who is severely mentally ill. It's a fantasy. The movie might as well be shelved by The Lord of the Rings and Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, we're going to disagree about this one, I think.
Lars is living in a garage next to the house where he grew up. He's got a lot of issues. He finds out through an acquaintance at work that you can order living dolls, and he does, and he treats her like an actual girlfriend. I think that the entire illusion of the movie could be easily destroyed if A, the central character wasn't played by Ryan Dreamboat Gosling, and B, if he was actually fucking that doll. Because here's the thing, putting one foot back in the real world, mental illness isn't cute all of the time, right? There's something adorable about Lars, and there's something adorable about the way he pretends that this is a real girl. And there's something adorable about the way everybody supports and embraces it. I love where the heart of the movie's at, but it feels to me like that old show West Wing, where it was portraying the world as the most naive leftist person would believe it to be. Like, wouldn't it be nice if people were this compassionate? Wouldn't it be nice if people, treated people who were mentally ill with this measure of respect? I like the acting in it. I like the cast. And it's a tough premise to sell. And considering what a tough premise it is, it works way more than it shouldn't. But I can't help but feel like this is the least attached to the real world of any of the 6 movies, including the Royal Tannenbaums. That's where I start with Lars and the Real Girl. I'm sorry.
No. I agree, but I disagree at the same time.
Okay.
With the fact that it's so detached from the real world, because it is, but I choose to view it from the idea that people can surprise you, and even though it's totally implausible that the whole community would get together and go along with Lars's delusion. It's implausible, but people can surprise you, and it is a small town in Iowa or wherever, and they're just getting along, and it's one of those things where if you have the weird guy who lives down the street, pretty soon he's just the guy who lives down the street. I mean, that shit happens, and
getting used. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Getting used to Lars, I understand. Like obviously he's part of the community. They know that. Lars ordering a sex doll and parading her around town, and everybody being okay with it. That's a step. then them coming over to Lars' house to pick up his doll to take her out to get her hair done, right? Then when he believes she's getting sick, he calls an ambulance, and the ambulance comes and takes his sex doll to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he visits his sex doll in the hospital, and like, it's one thing to sort of support the delusion, and the movie sells this remarkably well because it sounds like a ridiculous premise, but while you're watching the movie, you do go with it. Like, I like a lot about the movie. I just, again, I'm working with this theme as mental illness as entertainment. And I just think the real world Lars would be this incredibly, incredibly lonely, frustrated dude. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like overly rude about him. He just doesn't seem to deal well with other people. You get the feeling like he kind of likes that Kelly Garner, who's playing a much more likable character in this movie than she did in something Thumbsucker. But that there's a wall, an invisible wall that is between them that he imagines will always be there. And the wall doesn't come down until he lets go of his girlfriend, this sex doll.
Right. Well, his delusion stems from, past traumas and stuff, and he doesn't like physical closeness. Contact, and all this, I guess, kind of comes out because he brings Bianca, the doll, to the doctor because his brother and sister-in-law encouraged him to bring the doll kind of as a guise of getting him some help, because obviously they're worried about his mental health. And Patricia Clarkson, I think, is just wonderful as the doctor / therapist. She's got such a soothing demeanor.
Yeah.
I would want her to be my therapist.
No, she's just incredibly compassionate.
Yeah. And
in such a way as to make it feel contagious. Like, you wish you could be that compassionate.
Yeah. But I mean, just everybody going along with it, I didn't think it was that far off. I didn't think it was that implausible. Just because of the way the story progressed and the situation developed. I mean, yeah.
I guess
I went with it.
My cynical side comes out here. This is small town middle America. This is Trump country. Well,
that's not fair.
That's not fair, Larry. But I have to believe there'd be one or two of the people that would see him walking around with this sex doll and say,
"Well," and his brother
that.
His brother does express that. He knows that people are going to laugh at him, and they kind of do at the beginning.
At first, but he's just embraced. Like, the entire community mourns Bianca. There's that really charming scene where they bathe Bianca and they just start laughing because of how silly.
Yeah. Well, I thought that, because at the end of that scene she ends up face down in the tub, and I thought Lars was going to come in and
freak out.
Like they were drowning her or something.
It could have really easily been creepy. Like, it really, really could have.
Well, and I mean, it was a little uncomfortable when he does end up kissing her down by the water. Like, that was kind of weird. So yeah, I'm glad that he didn't end up having sex with his doll. But
well, and again, my cynicism, real world, says if this story took place in the real world, he was fucking that doll.
I don't know. I mean,
but that's the line too, right? If he was intimate with that doll, the whole illusion would fall apart, right? Everything charming and sweet about it would completely vanish, right? And if it wasn't, this wasn't portrayed so well. I keep just blanking on his name. Sorry, Ryan Gosling with the weird mustache and the charming little smile. What if he was like this fat, scuzzy, shady looking dude with a wandering eye, It's just like all the stars aligned to make this guy like the most adorable, insane person. Right?
I don't know. I don't feel that way about it.
I hate to come off as such a cynic. And again, the movie's just trying to put a smile on your face. That's all it's trying to do. And I want a world where this is true. I want a world where, small town America, a guy orders a sex doll because he's that tragically lonely. And despite the fact that he takes it out on the town, nobody gives him any shit about it. In fact, it's embraced almost without question. Like, that would be great. It would also be great if we had time machines. It would also be great if I could ride a dinosaur. But this is just not the world that we live in.
Okay, so how about the real world situations? So, Lars doesn't he can't handle human contact, and the sister-in-law is really well-meaning, and she's trying to help him, but she's constantly, at one point she even tackles him to the ground, and ends up laying on top of him because she wants him to come to dinner or whatever, and she's really trying her hardest to get him out of his shell and everything like that. And however well-meaning that is, that's like the worst thing that she could be doing to this guy, and Bianca's not going to do that to him. She can't touch him without without his consent. So
it's a relationship with himself.
Yeah.
Like, all of Bianca's side of the conversation, or indeed arguments, because they start fighting, are all coming from his head. This is Norman Bates shit, right? Like,
but he's working shit out, though. All this is working shit out.
How about I ask you this? Maybe this is the question that I'm trying to get to. When it comes down to it, does Lars know that Bianca's a sex doll?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
So, it's not healthy. Like, maybe this is some sort of self-therapy, but it's a strange place to be. We've landed in a strange place with Lars. It's a good thing that he's harmless and cute, because if he wasn't, he could be the next Jeffrey Dahmer.
No, but he knows Bianca's a doll, but he doesn't, but it's still a delusion, right? It's not like every day he's saying, oh, today I'm going to pretend that this doll is real. Yeah. It's more nuanced than that.
He would have had to give his credit card information to some sleazy internet site, and he would have had to unpack her and, dress her.
Yeah, but while you're doing that, that can be, that's an easy adjustment.
Getting to know your face.
In your brain, he's paying for her plane ticket, and he's helping her unpack her bags. Yeah. Like, that's easy stuff to get around,
Maybe this quite charming comedy was a missed opportunity to be a quite terrifying horror movie.
Actually, all of these could, you change one thing in Benny and June.
Yeah.
When he falls off the window, if he doesn't break his ankle, if he smashes in his skull instead, that's a different movie, right?
We find out the reason that the Johnny Depp character just showed up like a layabout about town is he's running from a murder rap.
Yeah.
I don't know why I react this way to Lars, because I do like the movie is the thing, Mick. Like, I enjoyed watching it. It's just watching it through this filter of how we treat mental illness in films. It just seems a little Disney to me. I think that its heart is in the right place. I really do. But I don't think this is what mental illness typically looks like. And I don't think this is what the reaction to mental illness is, as nice as that would be.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I think that wish fulfillment can be healthy.
Hey, and that's what movies are for in a lot of ways. Yeah. They give us answers where there are none, It's the line in Grand Canyon Steve Martin gives, all of life's riddles are answered in the movies.
Yeah.
Yes and no. This is posing some questions, and I think it's a warm, nice, feely movie. But I don't know that it's a serious take on mental illness. I think it's kind of a whimsical, fantastical comedy. And taken as that, great, enjoy. But yeah, I don't think I learned anything too deep about mental illness. Maybe a little bit about how we react to it, but not about illness itself.
Well, no, and if you're looking at, as far as severity of different mental illnesses, this one, is is on the less severe end of the spectrum, right? So, I mean, there's that too.
In the end of the day, his illness is that he's really, 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 really lonely.
Well, no, that's
oversimplification.
Yeah, oversimplification. But I mean, he was never. I don't think he's, a danger to himself or anybody else, or anything like that. But there was also that. You see his character evolve, and when he starts actually communicating with the girl at his office with the Margot character, he kind of, you see him come out of his shell a little bit, and there's that really adorable teddy bear resuscitation scene. When she's had her feelings hurt by the meanie in the office who hung her bear.
He hung her teddy bear, a little bastard.
Yeah.
No. And the meet cute stuff at the office, I kind of liked the weird nerdy vibe that Kelly Garner was giving off. Like, she wasn't a confident person, but her feet were much more on the ground than Lars were, and maybe together they could figure something out. Like, it's fun. It's fun. I feel like I've been mean to it. I do like the movie. I do. I just I got to rank them from 6 to 1. So I guess I was a little harder on Lars. Is there anything else you want to say about Lars?
Nope.
Ryan Gosling's dreamy.